Simon Sinek's core argument in Start With Why is that the most inspiring and successful leaders, businesses, and movements begin by clarifying and communicating their fundamental purpose, their why, before discussing what they do or how they do it. Sinek believes that people are motivated not by facts, figures, or features, but by a deeply felt connection to a cause or belief. This premise resonates across industries and personal endeavors, suggesting that if you truly want to stand out, spark loyalty, or drive meaningful change, you must start by identifying and living your why. The book challenges a default mindset where organizations focus on products, services, and superficial marketing tactics. Instead, Sinek says to lead from a place of purpose and authenticity. He points out that when we connect with deeper motivations, our messages and actions reach people's emotions, driving commitment and trust. From small startups to global brands, the ability to articulate a compelling why sets apart those who merely sell from those who inspire. By weaving together real-life cases like Apple's marketing approach or Martin Luther King Jr.'s leadership, Sinek shows how a clear why can galvanize action. Start With Why isn't just a business guide, it's a universal leadership philosophy. If you're seeking to influence colleagues, mobilize a community, or find clearer direction in your personal life, understanding why is the game changer. This introduction sets the stage for the rest of the book. A deep dive into how the why concept works, why it matters, and how you can apply it to your own pursuits. Chapter 1. The Golden Circle. In this first chapter, Sinek presents the Golden Circle, his key framework for understanding how great leaders inspire. The Golden Circle consists of 3 concentric layers. Why? The innermost circle, or belief. The reason your organization or endeavor exists, beyond making money or hitting targets. How? The guiding principles, processes, or strategies that bring your why to life. What the outer circle outputs, services or tasks that people see and interact with. The conventional approach is to start with what we sell coffee machines, then move on to how our machines use eco-friendly materials, and barely mention or articulate why, the deeper motivation. But Sinek explains that truly influential leaders and brands reverse this order. They begin by stating why they do what they do, then describe how they realize that purpose, and finally present what they produce as a byproduct of that belief. When an organization starts with why, it taps into people's emotions and aligns with their deeper sense of identity and values. By connecting on this emotional level, leaders foster devotion and a sense of shared mission. Sinek stresses that why is not about superficial mission statements, but about a genuine conviction that shapes decisions and resonates with both employees and customers. If you have a compelling why, it serves as a North Star, guiding you through challenges and opportunities alike. Sinek underscores that the Golden Circle isn't just a communication trick, it's a lens to reevaluate how you think about your work. Businesses that remain fixated on what tend to compete on features and price, while those who champion a strong why build movements, not just customer bases. By highlighting examples from various industries, Sinek demonstrates how starting with why helps organizations forge deeper relationships and make meaningful impacts in their fields. Chapter 2. The Biology of Why. In this chapter, Sinek connects the Golden Circle to the human brain, explaining why starting with why resonates on a biological level. The outer circle, what, corresponds to the neocortex, the area of the brain responsible for rational thought, language, and analytical processes. Meanwhile, the inner layers, how and why, align with the limbic brain, which governs emotions, instincts, and gut decisions. This distinction matters because while the neocortex can process data and logic, it's often our limbic brain, our emotional core, that truly drives actions and loyalty. When you communicate only at the level of what, you're appealing to reason and logic, which can be persuasive but not necessarily inspiring. In contrast, when you speak to people's deeper beliefs, why, you tap into their emotional centers, inspiring commitment that goes beyond intellectual agreement. Sinek points out that the limbic brain lacks language, making it tricky to articulate why in purely rational terms. We often say we feel something about a certain brand or leader, even if we can't put it into precise words. That's because those feelings originate in the limbic system. By leading with why, you effectively speak to that deeper part of the brain, creating stronger and more lasting bonds than statistics or product specs alone can achieve. The chapter also notes that this biological perspective explains why we often follow leaders who we sense share our values. When your why matches someone else's internal motivations, a sense of trust forms. This trust is hard to replicate with flashy marketing or empty slogans, since the limbic system detects authenticity, or the lack thereof. Understanding the biology behind why underscores why emotion, purpose, and belief often triumph over raw logic in shaping true loyalty and engagement. Chapter 3. Clarity of why, discipline of how, consistency of what. Sinek introduces 3 essentials for embodying the golden circle. Clarity of why. You must unearth and articulate your fundamental purpose. If your why is vague or forced, neither employees nor customers will feel an emotional pull. Clarity here means being able to express your driving cause simply, in a sentence or two. Discipline of how. Once you have a clear why, you need consistent methods and values, your how, to ensure day-to-day actions align with your belief. Discipline means not cutting corners or betraying your principles when faced with obstacles. Consistency of what. The final piece is ensuring that the products, services, marketing, and all external expressions remain true to the why. If your outward behaviors contradict your stated belief, trust erodes quickly. This chapter digs deeper into how each layer supports the next. For instance, if a company's why is about empowering innovation but their culture stifles new ideas or punishes risk, their how is out of sync with their stated why. That creates cynicism both internally and externally. Meanwhile, consistency in the what, for example, launching products that genuinely break the mold, reinforces people's perception that the brand is committed to innovative thinking. The lesson is that clarity, discipline, and consistency form a virtuous cycle. When all 3 work together, leaders build credibility and momentum. The organization stands for something meaningful and walks the talk in every step, attracting people who share that vision. Sinek notes that this alignment is rare because it requires self-reflection, strategic discipline, and the willingness to say no to opportunities that conflict with the why. Chapter 4. Trust and loyalty. One of the primary benefits of starting with why is the trust and loyalty it fosters. Sinek describes trust as a feeling, a sense of safety or confidence in another party's intentions. When people believe a leader's or organization's why is genuine and they see it reflected in consistent actions, they become loyal supporters, employees, or customers. How? Why drives trust. Emotional connection. A clear why goes beyond transactional thinking. It creates a shared sense of purpose, encouraging individuals to stand by an organization or leader even when challenges arise. Predictability and integrity. Consistency of actions over time reassures people that their leader or brand won't betray or mislead them. When an organization routinely proves it is guided by its stated values, skepticism melts away. Community building. People who share similar beliefs naturally gravitate together. When a why resonates, communities form around that shared belief, reinforcing loyalty among members. Sinek provides examples of big brands that have cultivated almost fanatical loyalty, such as Apple, which rarely competes on specs, but rather on its core idea of think different. Users trust Apple to deliver devices that challenge the status quo. Another example might be an organization that champions environmental sustainability. If every product decision consistently reflects that eco-friendly stance, consumers who hold similar values trust that brand's authenticity. This chapter also underscores that loyalty is hard to fake. Promotional gimmicks might yield short-term sales, but they don't breed genuine loyalty. Loyalty emerges when people see alignment between words and actions, year after year. Sinek challenges readers to ask themselves, are we offering short-lived incentives, or are we genuinely living our why in ways that build lasting trust? Chapter 5. The celery test. A memorable analogy Sinek uses is the celery test. If you claim that health is your priority, your why, you'll likely buy celery, rice milk, and similarly health-oriented items at the grocery store. The presence of junk food in your cart would confuse observers about your real commitment. By the same token, an organization claiming a particular set of values must consistently choose actions that align with those values. Why the celery test matters. Clarity in decision-making. Having a defined why simplifies choices. You pick only what reinforces your purpose, the celery, ignoring what contradicts it, junk food. External perception. People form opinions based on observable decisions. If they see you consistently acting in line with your why, they trust your authenticity. If you're inconsistent, they doubt your integrity. Efficiency. Knowing your why makes it easier to dismiss distractions or opportunities that don't fit. This keeps your mission pure and prevents you from watering down your message. Sinek points out that the celery test reflects daily discipline. Every product feature, partnership, or marketing message must pass through the filter of why. Over time, the small decisions accumulate into a brand identity that people can instantly recognize and trust. Chapter 6. Case studies of leaders who start with why. In this expanded section, Sinek dives into real examples of leaders and organizations that exemplify the power of why. Apple. Apple's why is about challenging the status quo and empowering creativity. Rather than marketing computers on specs alone, Apple's ads and launches communicate a belief in breaking barriers. Whether it's the iPhone or the MacBook, each product is a tangible expression of that disruptive spirit. Martin Luther King Jr. He rallied millions by speaking to a shared dream of civil rights and equality, not by presenting a 10-point policy plan. People marched alongside him because they believed in the same vision of justice. His "I have a dream" speech is the quintessential example of starting with why, showing that hearts move before minds do. Wright brothers. Driven by a relentless belief in the possibility of flight, they worked tirelessly with minimal resources. Their success against better funded and more prestigious competitors highlights how passion and clarity of purpose often outweigh purely technical advantages. Each story underlines a crucial theme. Resources, expertise, or grand strategies alone aren't enough to spark mass engagement or loyalty. Instead, it's the clarity and conviction of a cause that motivates others to join and persevere. The greatest movements, whether commercial or social, spring from a potent... Chapter 7. Applying why in life and work. Finally, Sinek offers advice for leaders, entrepreneurs, and individuals on how to put the Start With Why framework into daily practice. Discover your personal why. Reflect on pivotal life experiences. Identify recurring themes or values that light a fire in you. Ask, what truly matters to me? Or what impact do I want to have on others? The answers shape a personal why that can guide career choices, relationships, or philanthropic efforts. Communicate from the inside out. Rather than saying, here's what I offer, begin with, here's what I believe. Then explain how you bring that belief to life, and lastly, present your product or service. This approach helps forge emotional connections before diving into details. Embed why into culture. For organizations, hiring practices, operational strategies, and team rituals should all reflect the core belief. Regularly share success stories that exemplify the why. Recognize and reward employees who embody the organization's purpose. This promotes a sense of belonging and shared mission. Stay consistent. Avoid straying from your why when a new trend or lucrative deal appears. Evaluate each opportunity through your celery test to ensure it aligns with the organization's fundamental purpose. Over time, consistent alignment builds a powerful brand identity that people respect and trust. Sinek cautions that discovering and implementing your why is an ongoing process, not a one-time event. Market conditions change, personal goals evolve, but a well-defined why serves as a stable anchor, guiding adaptation without sacrificing authenticity. Conclusion. Up with Why boils down to a core truth. People are drawn to leaders and companies that stand for something meaningful. Whether you're launching a startup, leading a non-profit, or trying to inspire a group around you, the key is not just to explain what you do, but to passionately share why you do it. Simon Sinek's Golden Circle concept provides a roadmap for communicating and embodying a higher purpose. By focusing on why, aligning how, and letting your what reflect those beliefs, you invite others to join a cause larger than mere transactions. This leads to deeper loyalty, stronger communities, and more authentic leadership. In a world brimming with noise, starting with why is the difference between shouting for attention and truly moving hearts. Sinek's philosophy challenges you to reflect. What is my fundamental cause or belief? Do my actions match my words? How can I integrate a clear why into every aspect of my life or organization? Thank you for reading this expanded summary. We hope it inspires you to explore your own why and to infuse that purpose into everything you do. If you found these ideas helpful, consider sharing your reflections with friends or colleagues. And remember that the journey to meaningful impact always begins with why.